Hello, strangelings. Welcome back to the parlor. As y'all can see, I'm getting set up at the moment. And since I'm currently doing the incense, I couldn't decide today. So today, I went for both patchouli and lavender for my sticks. And today we have sage on the cone. Y'all may or may not know this. Sage is like my favorite out of all of them. The next one is of course my best friend's favorite, because I like to burn an incense for him every so often. I don't feel like it does anything. It feels good. So I do it. And I found this is not the rosebud that these two petals go to. Well, found another dry rosebud that might actually help us to make that line for you. Don't mind me, guys. Just doing my thing. This is what 9 times out of 10 you guys don't see. I just decided to turn the camera on early is all. Sorry, my ashtray is in the way. Yes, guys, I use an ashtray. I smoke substances, tobacco and such. Nothing major. I certainly don't do cooked things. And if you know, you know. If you don't, it might be best that we keep it that way, guys. Okay. I really don't have a need for that rosebud right now. We'll just go ahead and put these in here anyway, because we can. Okay. Oh, you guys might not have been hearing me that well because I didn't have my mic pulled over. Sorry. Sorry, guys. My bad. My tea over here. Okay. I hope everybody's having a great day. We're gonna hopefully be starting a great week, guys. I don't care what the reading ends up saying. As far as I'm concerned, it hopefully will be a great week for everyone. Alright. Now, of course, you guys know I'm gonna do the loud part first. Turn my butt here. Gotta shake it more towards upside down. I can't believe I keep forgetting to unmute the mic, guys. Sorry. Gotta shake it more towards the upside down because the charms seem to be heavier than the beads, so they'll tend to stay down to the bottom. But I learned that kind of early on, so here we go, guys. Okay, one fell off like that. Okay. 2. More than 3. Oh, goody. Let's see what we got, guys. Oh, well, it's not a lot. It's only about 6 of them. Okay. Ooh. So I'm gonna start with the big one, which seems to be, I would call, an Indian I was gonna put this on the back of my hand so I don't have to worry about angling my hand weird, and I see there's a mess on the back of my hand. Okay. Oh well. I would say this is an Indian style elephant in gold and blue. Gold and blue might actually be significant, I'm not sure, but I would say that that is an Indian style. I wouldn't say it's actually a style you might see if you go to India. I would say that this is a style that has been cheaply made to look like it is an Indian style. Sorry guys, I call it like I see it. Okay, so then we have an H, we have an A, we have G, and we have E. And to back up that blue, we have a lightning bolt encased in blue. That could mean a lightning storm on a cloudless day. Pretty hard to get, but you know, you have to have at least a couple clouds for that. Could be a favorite color. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Before I continue, I was not just knocking, guys. I was knocking a piece of, looked like a piece of ash off of the cards. I don't knock on the cards. My grands are here with me at all times. They know what I'm doing and when. If I had a guide team that I had to, every time I wanted them to do something with cards, that'd be a very unobservant guiding team. Very unobservant. Oh my lord. My grands are active. Even if it is just in my head. The mountain nearby indicates the presence of a mighty enemy. Sorry guys, that one just kind of decided to flip out while I was shuffling. Well, it didn't really flip out so much as fall off the deck, but you know. That is not a part of this read as far as I know. And if it is, we'll find out. It'll echo through the rest of it if it is. Okay. Well, that's enough pre-shuffle before I get the reading going for that deck. Y'all know I pre-shuffle this much because I'm an honest card reader. I'm a bohemian gypsy, which is a gypsy scientist, which means I know why I can do this, and I know why I should be randomizing as much as possible. Okay, I'll do this a few times. So I need to make sure that it's nice and randomized, like I said. Oh, so, of course, guys, this is a bit of dead space. I'm always trying to figure out what I want to say in this space. I usually chit-chat about things that have been happening lately, but I really haven't been doing much interesting lately. Preparing for a trip coming up in March. I've been trying to do some things health-wise. I've joined a gym, and now I've been going twice a week so far. And it's not because I needed to join a gym. It's not because I don't have the ability to, say, get weights at home or things like that. It's because You guys who know me, you know I'm not great at taking care of myself. It took me a long time to love myself enough to actually think that it was worth it to actually do self-care, let alone do the basic care. So I'm not really good at making sure, like, for instance, I get the exercise I need when I need it. I'm good at remembering every so often that I need exercise, and maybe if I'm lucky once a week, maybe, you know, curling a 10-pound weight here and there. But like I said, if I'm lucky, more often than not, it's more like once a month. And that's not good. I gotta take better care of myself, so I joined a gym, guys. I never really wanted to use the money in that way. Use money in that way. I wanted to make sure I had the equipment, but I need more of a community around me to keep me honest on taking care of myself. Or I did until recently. So, all right, let's start with this. Now, of course, guys, that chit-chat, nothing should be coming out backwards. Nothing should be coming out backwards, guys. Oh, there's a few backwards cards in here. Oh boy. Well, we're just gonna go with it, I guess. I don't really do backwards cards too much. The cards already have both negative and positive implications, and I'm really honestly just reading from what's going on in my head. So I'm reshuffling because I just looked at all those cards to see that there is at least one more card that's upside down. So I'm reshuffling because it's an honest read. I'm not going to be doing that kind of stuff for you guys. I'm not going to be sitting here picking out cards and deciding what is supposed to be in this read and what's not out of the deck. That's dishonest. But as I was saying, the cards, they have their own negative and positive inclinations in the first place. And I usually just read the cards. I let the cards kind of guide my mind to what I'm supposed to be seeing. So it is wholly unnecessary for me to have cards in reverse in my deck. I'm not actually sure how they got there either, because when I play with my cards, I always make sure I put them back right. So because of that, I've decided to go ahead and keep going with this reading as is. This is, however, unusual, strange even. I was playing with my cards just, when was the last day I played with my cards? Wednesday. Wednesday was the last day I played with my cards, guys. And I knew they were all facing up at the time. So I got to assume there's a reason. I got to assume there's a reason. All right. So So what I'm seeing here is, at the beginning of this, when all of this started, you were scrimmaging a lot. You were fighting. I don't know if you were fighting yourself, if you were fighting someone else, if you were fighting other people. You were fighting. But at the end of this, there were many, many, many burdens left behind that you had to There were burdens left behind. Not necessarily that someone needed to pick up, but I mean, psychological or physical skirmishes leave a lot of mess that really should be cleaned up. Perhaps someone else cleaned it up behind you, or behind the skirmish, or something. It got cleaned up, possibly, but if it got cleaned up, it wasn't by you. You walked away feeling unburdened. You maybe more emptiness than burden, actually. Perhaps that's why it came out in reverse. Feeling an emptiness as to the subject of the skirmishes, as opposed to being completely burdened with all these woes and upsets that come from fighting with your probably fellows. Honestly, the way this feels. And walking away without these burdens may have felt empty, but it also gave you an ability to resource up. You know, get your resources going. Get yourself where you needed to be as far as what you need in life. But this is also feeling empty and lonely. You see, he's walking away from the cups, not necessarily to be walking away, but because he's free to, he doesn't have to worry about the security of his cups because he's alone. That's the feeling I'm getting here. This card tends to be a disappointment of being alone. A lot of times I actually see this as walking away from the cups, but doesn't feel like walking away from the cups to me. It just feels like feeling secure in having the cups, you know, a few feet down away from you, kind of thing. But it also feels empty. It feels the only way I can describe it essentially is there are a lot of people in the world who like to be alone for at least some periods of time, especially introverts, right? But there's a difference between feeling alone and a wanted feeling alone and a temporary feeling alone, and this almost, the world is this small box I'm in kind of alone. And that can go for people who are, you know, agoraphobic, or not necessarily even agoraphobics. You don't have to be you don't have to have a phobia of the outside world to necessarily, you know, be stuck in, but basically, you know, somebody who's stuck in, sheltered, what do they call that? I can't remember. When I was a kid, my church did, we had our Sunday sermon on the local public access channel each Sunday, so that the shut-ins, that's the word, sorry guys, sometimes that's the way my brain works. I have to actually explain something to tell you what the word is. I'm so sorry. Anyway, this gives shut-in vibes, but not necessarily willing shut-in vibes. This gives the kind of even if the person is in the wide open, they're so lonely they feel like they're shut in and, you know, made to stay inside all the time. That's the kind of feel I get. Oh my lord. It's stifling. It's almost a suffocating sensation that this brings up. Just these last two together. I mean, I like to try to see the positive in things because I like to have everything go off in a good way for everyone, right? So, I mean, if we're looking for the positive here, you're not in these scuffles anymore. You're not in these arguments. You're not in these fights where you just cannot seem to see eye to eye, where you're constantly butting heads and all that. But it is still... That's the good thing here. You don't have to worry about button heads no more. We're right here. This is today. I get it. Okay, I understand. Oh, Lord. This is not like last week or a few various other weeks throughout my readings. This is not something calling for any extra clarification whatsoever. It is cut and dry clear what these cards are saying to me today. And I feel like I speak on behalf of my grands as much as me when I say I'm sorry that I have to give the reading I'm giving. But so this of course is today. You are at the point where you're getting your abundance, or your, not necessarily abundance though, as many cups as here, that's 8 of them. It is suggesting that there is abundance in this. Just that it's very lonely and very much solitude. So where you are going is from the 8 of Cups to the 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords is a card that shows a family that is essentially a refugee family. This is a family that has had severe hardships, not just from the natural world, but from the material world especially. And it doesn't look like these hardships are just material. Obviously, the natural world is providing hardships too. I'm not sure why, after all this... Oh, I'm getting emotional. That's weird. That's really weird. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to tear up, and I don't know why. So what I am seeing is that now that this resource is starting to come in, now that you're starting to get to a point where you are, at least for what you need, set, this loneliness may not go away. Yes, this is a family on this card. That doesn't mean there's a family involved. However, it does suggest that you are going to be finding a way to travel past your woes, to travel past the issues, possibly that were caused here, possibly the burdens that you chose not to pick back up. These things are still things you're carrying, but you're trying to travel away from them. Physically, mentally, I don't know, I don't care. I'll be honest with you guys, that's not my domain. That would be your domain, whoever this is for. I can only give you the details I receive. And as we are not face to face, as I don't even know who I'm reading for today, unfortunately, my details are very few. But I see you acting and working towards going away from these and staying here, or attempting to. It does not seem like this is going to come back as a norm at some point. However, it is. There's going to be a few heavy things that come in. There's going to be a few so what I'm feeling, giving myself a moment to kind of sit with it. What I'm feeling is there's going to be more burdens. There is. And unfortunately, some of those burdens are going to be bad enough to feel like this is becoming depleted. You're going to work to move past those burdens. Those burdens will hopefully lessen, but they won't go away. You will get to a point where it feels like this is your life. You don't have a choice. All of these burdens just keep slamming you in the face. That's what it feels like. So it feels like the only way to escape these burdens is you dying. To you, at the time. You will still be working through it. You'll be working, from what I can tell, immensely hard to work through it. But it's going to feel endless. And I know I said this was today. This literally just popped up into my brain as if I need to make sure I clarify this. I know I said this is today. This is not today. This is the today of the situation. So this is finding out how you got into the situation that is being talked about. This is where you stand in the situation that is being talked about here. When this is the future. It's weird, it's all temporal physicsy, right? Believe it or not, it actually is. Timey-wimey, come on guys. Timey-wimey only exists if you can move about in time. And I know humans want to, but we can't. So time exists for us in a straight line. In front of us and behind us. Well, in a straight line, if you were sitting on a tree, on the trunk, and it was in space, you're sitting here, and this tree is in space, you're seeing the branches in front of you. That's your straight line in front of you. Time itself is not being experienced in a jumbled ball. I know. It's a fun and interesting theory. But everything, every piece of life on the planet works in a linear direction. So obviously, It's not just us. It's just that time, as humans understand, it doesn't actually exist. The minutes and seconds, that's not real. So, whatever time I'm reaching into, whether this is past, present, or future, it's not my time, so I'm reaching into some point in your time. And pulling out these straight lines for you to see which direction would be the most advantageous. That's why it's weird when other readers give multiple choice as to how it ends, or what this means. You can't have multiple choice in a straight line. That's how it is. Anyhow, sorry guys, on a tangent yet again. I wasn't trying to make it this long, but you know. So I do see there's going to be struggle, there's going to be strife, there's going to be hardship, there's going to be an uphill battle. And you're going to feel, ironically enough, the church I went to as a child, it was a Methodist church, and it was down the hill from my house. We had 2 hills to climb. There was one like this and one like this. The one like this was me walking around the neighborhood to get home, and the one like this was the straight shot home. More often than not, unless I didn't want to go home right away, unless I wanted to walk through the woods for a little bit, because I always did that naughty behavior. None of my neighbors liked the fact that I walked through the woods. I grew up on one piece of the woods, and so I felt like the woods was like my home. None of my neighbors liked it because they thought I was going to get hurt. But when I walked up the high incline hill, by the time I got up the hill, because of the fact that I have joint pain issues and extremely poor circulation, by the time I got up that hill, I would be in pain. I would say, why the hell did I do this to myself? Literally all of the time, my entire life. From the day I started walking to church on my own on. And I would be in pain when I got up that hill. But once I got up the hill, my body would take a real deep breath. My bones would start re-shifting back to where they needed to be. I know my bones didn't shift, it's fine. My joints would start to ease up, because of course I eased up, because I was at the top of the hill. And at the top of your hill here, you are showing out as the King of Cups. So, you know, a little worried looking in the face. But all in all, if you look at it, if I can get close enough to do this, maybe not. If you look at the face, I have to get it at the right angle, guys, sorry. It's not necessarily, I'm not quite catching it on camera as well as I'm seeing it, but it looks like it's not necessarily an angry face, or I can't believe I had to go through hell to get here face, necessarily. More so that was hard work. I'm upset that I had to work that hard, but I'm happy that I'm here, and possibly even a little hopeful. So it seems like persevering through this, even though it's going to feel like it's killing you, is really going to be fruitful in the end. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the way you should be going, because it looks like, I mean, I think anybody would say If there's a way to not have to take these licks through your journey, maybe that switch could be, you know, left on the tree this time, kind of thing. But unfortunately, whether it's because maybe you just are taking a stubborn path to get there, or the universe is dishing you out, well, this for some reason, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe you earned karma. Maybe you earned karma for leaving your burdens for someone else. I don't know. But if this isn't earned karma, just remember not to reflect that back to someone else as if it was their fault. Because that's how we earn karma. Treating people negatively sends a ripple effect through our society and our world, and that ripple has a tendency to come back to us. And for all those who think that maybe I'm talking like spiritually, no. I mean, think about it. You have a bad day. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You're grumpy as fuck. You don't know why, but you don't want to treat anybody with any kind of respect, because who the hell gave you respect recently? Okay? You go into, say, I don't know, Starbucks. You get yourself a coffee. And you're not giving them no fucking respect. Those baristas don't deserve none of your time. They need to do their job and let you get the hell out of there. Okay, cool. That barista, well, she's a customer service representative, right? So she's got to deal with these customers all day long, but she just got served some nastiness on a plate, like some real stinky ass shit, right? And so, of course, her day is going to be kind of, at least partially ruined, especially if no one tries to help her bounce that back. No one, like, I don't know, gives her a compliment or says how she doesn't deserve to be treated like that just because she happens to work in customer service. Anything like that. She could then go ahead and decide, well, you know, someone treated me badly today, so I'm just going to be an ass to everybody else today. Screw you all. That was my 5th rude customer of the morning. Or some shit, right? So then she starts being rude to the rest of her customers throughout her day. And then she goes to the grocery store. We've got all of those people who now have to deal with her being nasty, rude, and their particular emotions about it, right? So she goes to the grocery store. The man who is sitting there going through, and I think that's 2. It is 2, okay. The man sitting there going through and tagging through the groceries at the register, well, he just got served a hot plate of nasty ass attitude too, right? Only he just lost his grandmother last week, and he's been mourning, so of course he's depressed. And this person just got really nasty and rude with him, which really just skyrocketed him out of depression and straight into, well, fuck everyone. Yeah, guys, I cuss. You know. Well, then he goes home and he continues that cycle, and again and again and again, until you're at your job tomorrow morning. And because someone got a completely nasty treatment at their favorite restaurant, the person who treated them like that, you know, after going to the grocery store to pick up some things for ingredients for the restaurant, and just happened to be treated to this cycle, and then suddenly that person, well, that's your client tomorrow morning, and they're in a nasty ass mood because your nasty ass mood created a ripple effect straight back to you so that you could be served your mood back. Unfortunately, it does grow exponentially. So now a bunch of people have had to deal with your mood who didn't even interact with you. Hundreds, possibly thousands of people will be affected by your decision to let your bad mood affect everyone else's day. Okay. Now, and of course, we don't see this king doing that. We don't see this king now deciding that life is pain and then putting that on anyone else, which is nice. So the first card that popped out for the confirmation cards is number 5, the tree. Good health near flowers, fulfillment of highest hopes. So good health. So that's also a boon in this situation. You might feel like you are dying here. Like this situation is really, really just taking your entire life. And the only thing you have left is a tiny bit of abundance, and then you die. But that is not at all true. You have good health. The next one to hit the table would be 51, which is the lion, which presages a sudden shock from bad news. Okay. And then the lily, number 20. The lily forecasts a happy life, but family sorrows. If surrounded by clouds, which it's not. There are clouds with the tree, though. See that band of clouds between the sun and the house? Lies above the person. Let me start that sentence again. But family sorrows if surrounded by clouds. Lying above the person signifies virtuous life, but when under indicates immortality. Now, of course, these are toss cards, which means I'm supposed to be sitting you in a good, spacious area, that I'm supposed to be tossing them above your head. Now, normally, I then use the flowers for the U, but I did not toss the cards. As y'all saw, I just tossed them into my hand instead of flipping them as 52 card pickup. Now, that being said, in this particular dynamic of the way I read the cards, it can be said that this King of Cups has already been said in the reading before I did the toss cards to be you at the end of this situation. So, I will interpret this as the lilies landed on you, which means that there will be some family sorrow, but you have a virtuous life coming. If you're not in it now, it's coming. A virtuous life means you're finally able to get the things you need and want. Believe me, everybody wants a virtuous life. Oh, guys, I have taken so long on this already. This one's almost an hour. I did... There was a lot of rambling I felt like I needed to do to explain certain things. Sorry, guys. But I am going to leave this here. It is a hopeful message. It feels heavy. It feels burdensome right now, but it is a hopeful message, guys. So, yeah. I do hope this gets to whoever it needs to get to. Because with all this, I can understand why I needed to read this today. Because with all this can feel more hopeless and desperate than the lonely, the almost impactful loneliness I was feeling with these two cards. And those are deep feelings. I mean, this feels deeply lonely, and this feels deeply despair-inducing. So somebody needs to hear this, and I hope they do. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to make this an hour long, and it's getting close. Don't forget, it doesn't matter who you are, I love you, and take care of each other. And I'll see you guys in the next video.